Hello, everyone, and welcome to Gothy Roundtable, the official talk show of r/Goth. I'm Cadaver Kelly, and joining me as always are my wonderful co-hosts, Dave and DJ Carnivorous. Hi, Dave.
Hello.
Hey, Caroline.
Hey.
This is our first episode of 2022. It also kicks off our second season of Gothy Roundtable. To celebrate the new year, we are going to talk about 2021 in review. So we'll talk about 2021 for Gothy Roundtable, our experiences in the goth scene in general, and if we have time, maybe other stuff that we enjoyed from 2021. So I thought we could start off by talking a little bit about the episodes that we did for season 1 of Gothy Roundtable. 2021 marked our first season. It was a bit of a short season because we started it up like halfway through the year. So the first episode we did was in May of 2021. That was our pilot episode. And context for the viewers, I'm sure this is probably apparent, but every month that we get on and do these episodes, we just kind of wing it. We usually have a general like agenda, maybe some bullet points we want to hit, but we don't really like script anything out or overly plan for these. We kind of just let them flow naturally. So for that first pilot episode that we did, we didn't really have even an agenda at all. We just kind of got on, talked about the show, what we wanted to do with it, and talked about a bunch of random Goth 101 type of things. So it was more like an introduction to Gothy Roundtable. Then in June, probably one of our more popular episodes, we did Goth Memes with Elitist Joe.
That was a fun one.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to ask Elitist Joe to come back so we can do more episodes with memes. But we went through, we presented Elitist Joe with goth memes that we found around the internet, and he gave us a rating. He gave us his commentary on them. So that was a fun episode. In July, we did DIY or Die with Skullgirdle RIP. So we talked about DIY. We all showed off DIY projects. That was also a very fun episode. August of 2021 was building a local goth scene with DJ Kelly. DJ Kelly is here in Pittsburgh with me. And she had a really interesting story. And it was cool to hear some of that like history of the goth scene in Pittsburgh since the 90s and her story. And she actually gave a lot of useful information for people who want to start up events, like things about how to partner up with venues, things about usually how like ticketing and payment works, or different scenarios that might play out in regards to kind of like the business side of running events. Which I've not seen a lot of information out there on that. So it was cool to hear some of like the insider take on some of those things. September was our Guide to Absolution Fest. So Mark and Mouse from Communion After Dark came on to talk about Absolution Fest, which I got to go down to. So I'll probably talk about that a little bit on this episode. But it was very cool of them to come on and talk about the festival. Then in October was our season 1 finale. We did a Halloween special, and DJ Vamp Daddy came on. We talked about Halloween and Halloween in the goth scene. So all in all, pretty good first season. Like I said, I think we're going to have Joe back on for another memes episode at some point. Also wanted to ask if anyone in the live chat has any suggestions for topics that they would like to see in future episodes of Gothy Roundtable. Feel free to let us know because we're still kind of working out what episodes we want to plan out for this year. So that was 2021 in review for Gothy Roundtable. Now kind of on to the goth scene. I think we can talk a little bit about like events, whether they were in person or virtual, different events that we went to in 2021. So Dave, why don't you start us off? I know you live stream a lot and you probably have done a lot of virtual stuff.
Yeah. And just want to reiterate once again, as I said in chat, if anything sounds weird, just shout and scream. But during 2021, I mostly was on Twitch, basically, watching people spin some music and have a good time. I was actually on one ERL event, so to speak, with Lester Jamal, which was awesome. Double audio. God damn it. Thank you, Limbs. Slight echo. Gotcha. That was about it for me, really. Lots of Twitch events for my part.
Caroline, how about you? 2021 events.
Yeah, so basically same for me. This has felt like the longest year ever. So I had to like go back and like Facebook events and stuff and see what was this year. But I've only also been to one physical event this year, and that was like a kind of a DIY private festival. I don't think we were even 100 people there. It was all outdoors. It was really nice, but that's it really. I was planning to go to Prague Gothic Treffen, but I think right before COVID got worse again, at least here in Norway, so we had to cancel that. But I think they've been managed to get going during the pandemic, which is really cool. So they've been really lucky in Prague. Let me see. Oh, the year started off with ArgFest, Anti-Racist Goths. So that was a really cool event. I DJ'd for that one. And also there was World Goth Day. I did like just a Norwegian set for that one. People really like that. And then one I didn't DJ, but like I really enjoyed was one of the Gothicat festivals. I think they've only had one this year. They've had, what, like 5 or 6 during
Yeah, they did
pandemic?
a lot. They did a few of them in 2020, I think.
Yeah, so those are really fun. Always lots of cool bands. So, yeah, that was pretty much it for events. Just hanging out on Twitch with all the DJs I know. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a very different situation over here in the U.S. Just because we did roll out the vaccines pretty early and rolled them out en masse. Events really did come back swinging in 2021. So I have a lot of events that I went to throughout the year. June started out, the first event I went to since this whole pandemic started. So it'd been like over a year since I've been out to an event. But I started going back to in-person events in June, started with an outdoor dance party. So it was kind of like an 80s alternative dance party. It was called Strange Skins, put on by Strange Ways, which is like an events DJ promotion kind of group around here. That was a lot of fun. They played lots of goth and goth friendly stuff in like 80s post-punk, that kind of stuff. Then I went to a vinyl block party at Inner Groove Brewing in Verona, Pennsylvania. So it was almost like a true block party where they blocked off an entire street. It was outdoor. They had different vendors set up who were selling vinyl records. And then they did have a few of these Strange Ways DJs that were DJing in the street. People were dancing in the street. It was not necessarily goth, but there were a lot of people from the local goth scene there. So that was cool. Then I went to a summer music picnic, the Millvale Summer Music Picnic here in Pittsburgh. That was an outdoor concert. Nothing goth on the lineup there. They had like a surf rock band. They had a ska band. It was just a random like outdoor concert event here in Pittsburgh. Then I went to Technique, which is a monthly dance night at Belvedere's here in Pittsburgh. It's an 80s alternative dance night, also put on by Strange Ways. In July, I went down to Ocean City, Maryland, and I went to this nightclub called Secrets, spelled like SEA, like secrets. It's not goth at all, but they had an outdoor tiki bar and they had a live reggae band, so that was pretty cool. And they had like multiple dance floors. Then also in July, I went to Technique again, that 80s alternative dance night I went to in June. Then at the end of July, one of the cool things I did virtually in the year was I guest DJ'd a stream with DJ Kelly A. We did Goth Around the World, where we played goth music from all of the continents except for Antarctica. And a lot of the stuff that we were able to pick out was from like the past year or so. So I was pretty proud that we were able to hit all the continents and all the different areas of the world with goth music. Then in August, I went to a mid-century event called Mods versus Rockers. They had like a vintage bike cruise, a pinup show. They were playing some rockabilly music, and then they had a local surf rock band play live. They're called the Boss Stingrays. Then I went to the Millvale Summer Music Festival, not to be confused with the Summer Music Picnic I went to in June. This was much larger scale across like many streets and venues. I only went to one show at a venue called Whisper Nest. It was more of a punk show. Opening up was a local band that's kind of punk, kind of ska. They're called Slobber Knockers. They're pretty silly. They wear like they wear kind of like what do you call it, like the lucha libre, like Mexican like wrestling masks and stuff. They were an oddball band, but they opened up for one of my favorite local punk bands called Murder for Girls. They're pretty cool. They actually have this adorable song called "The World Is Full of Incredibly Helpful Goth Girls." And they have like a music video for it on YouTube. You can look it up. They, I think, filmed it in one of the local music venues that a lot of goth nights are hosted at. But they're a punk band. They're cool. Then in August, I went to see Modest Mouse play an outdoor concert. And there was this really good band that was almost vaguely like dream pop-ish that opened for them called Empath. So that was a new find for me. Then at the end of August, I went to Cobwebs, which is one of our local goth nights here in Pittsburgh. That one's monthly, and that one is a true goth night. And it's put on by DJ Satyrian and DJ Crash Zero of Blacklist Entertainment. In September, I went to see Violent Femmes live. And there was this really good all-girl punk band that opened up for them called Thick. And it was like all capital letters, THICK. So they were a cool discovery. Also went to a giant Oktoberfest celebration in Canonsburg, Pennsylvania. They shut down the entire town for this thing. It was like an outdoor block party that goes on for miles. And they had a live band playing traditional German drinking music. And in another location, they had another band playing a style of music that I call dad rock. It's like that 1970s, like bluesy rock and roll style music. So that was a lot of fun. Then I went to an ethereal and shoegaze kind of show. Really great local band called Take Me With You opened up, and headlining was Majel Connery of Sky Creature. Then I went to the Pittsburgh Renaissance Festival, which is a huge Ren fair here in well, it's not in Pittsburgh. It's actually like an hour drive from Pittsburgh. But that's a lot of fun. Really huge Renaissance Festival. If anyone's in like reasonable traveling distance of like Pittsburgh or Western Pennsylvania and you're into Ren fairs, I would recommend checking that one out. October, as I mentioned before, I went down to Absolution Fest. We did have Mark and Mouse from Communion After Dark on Gothy Roundtable to talk about it. Then I got to go down there. It was 3 nights of goth and dark electronic, dark alternative bands. I had a really great time down there, but I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it. You can go to my YouTube channel if you want to see the episode we did with Mark and Mouse. Also, I had a vlog where I took some footage of all the bands. Then I went to a local vampire ball here in Pittsburgh. So they had a dance night portion where a DJ was spinning goth and industrial, and then a local industrial band called Tragic Impulse played a live set, and they're really good. So if anyone likes industrial music, go check them out on Bandcamp, Tragic Impulse. Then November and December, I started really slowing down, like going out and stuff. People were getting sick a little more frequently. So I only went to one show in November. It was a very small show. Boot Blacks came here to Pittsburgh and they played live. Opening for them was that local synthy post-punk shoegaze sort of band that opened for Majel Connery. They're called Take Me With You. Also opening up was another local act called Some Faith, and they were like dark electronic bordering a little more on like synth pop industrial, but they were really good. And this was actually the first live performance they ever played. So I would recommend them if you like electronic music. Take Me With You. They were all really good. I've seen Boot Blacks live like 5 times now, and it's always really good to see them. After the show, I took Barrett and Panther to Technique, that 80s alternative dance night that I went to in June and July. So got to take Boot Blacks over there for a little bit of an after party. And DJ Erica Scary, one of the co-founders of Play Alone Records, is one of the DJs for that dance night. Then in December, Corinne came to Pittsburgh, so I went to see them live. And they're one of my favorite modern synth pop groups. Take Me With You was also opening up for this show as well. So I've seen Take Me With You 3 times just in 2021. And then Corinne had an opening band that was touring with them. And this is the first time I'd heard that band, but they were pretty good as well. They were called Johnny Dynamite and the Bloodsuckers. It was actually a duo, and they have kind of like a synthy 80s new wave kind of sound. But that was all the events that I went to in 2021. And I haven't been to any events since then, just because there's a lot more people getting sick around here right now. So I've just been trying to stay at home and wait until those numbers drop down a little bit before going back out. But I was very fortunate to be able to go out and like do all of those events in 2021. I know things are a little slower moving over there in Europe.
Yeah, you got a lot done, and I had nothing.
Likewise.
But I hope that this year will be better. I've bought some concert tickets, and I'm hoping those will happen. We'll see.
You want to talk about those shows, like the ones that you're planning for this year?
Yeah, sure. We talked about this before we went live, so I could just mention them again. So in the end of March, we have The Mission, possibly. This was originally going to be that tour from 2020. Yeah, that they announced in 2019, where they had the double concert thing happening. But the 2 reschedules fucked over Norway. We're just getting one show, but I'm thankful for that still now. It's probably really hard to rebook an entire tour like that, so fine. And then end of April, there's Kælan Mikla, so really looking forward to that. And I'm also going to Ghost the day after that. And then beginning of May. So a week after that is Lebanon Hanover. So
I'm so jealous. I love Lebanon Hanover.
They're very good.
So really looking forward to that too. And then I don't have anything more planned until October. Then The Cure is coming, and they're doing like the big stadium show. So that's going to be really fun. I've only seen them at a festival before, and even then they played 2 hours. So only then, that's going to be 3 or 4 hours, so I've heard.
Yeah, dock me my goth points, but I've never seen The Cure live.
Holy shit. Oh, I didn't see them until 2019, so.
Dave, you have anything planned for this year?
Hopefully, but I'm not holding any hopes, because there's already been 2 cancellations, and if all keeps on going as it has, I'm sure everything that hasn't yet been cancelled will be pushed on further.
Yeah, but right now I just want to hold on hope, and I'm just buying the tickets. I don't fucking care anymore. I spent the entirety of last year being like really negative, and yeah, I have given up on Vegetaire for this year though. I don't think that, even though it does happen in some capacity, I don't think I'm comfortable with going abroad just yet. So.
Right.
That's fair. It's a weird time in the world. I have a few plans for the upcoming year. I'm not planning too many things. I don't have anything coming up in the next month or so, just because, like I said, like everyone I know around me is getting sick. So I'm trying to avoid all the germs. Don't want to get sick. But hopefully, I'm hoping that things turn around. The health officials are expecting that things will get a little bit better as the weather warms up in the spring. At the end of March, I have tickets to see actors. We'll see if they're able to come through here. This show was originally supposed to happen back in September, but they ended up postponing their US tour dates. They're up in Canada. And so we'll see if this one actually happens, but I love actors, so it'll be cool to see them live if they do come through. I also have tickets to drive out to Ohio and see Molchat Dama in May. So hoping that show happens as well. But Molchat Dama are from Belarus, so there would be international travel involved. So of course, they would have to be in a position where they could travel here. Waiting to see if that gets postponed. That show was originally, I think, supposed to happen like 2020, and it's been like postponed till now. But I really want to go see them, so we'll see if that one happens. I do plan on going back down to Absolution Fest in October. But outside of that, I'm not really jumping on any in-person events until I see some of these like case numbers go down, people getting sick around me less. I'm hoping that this will be kind of the endemic variant. We'll see what happens. Everything's up in the air. But maybe I'll jump in and join some virtual events in the meantime. There's always like amazing like DJ streams happening constantly.
Yeah, things here right now, like the past few months have been like at its worst, like numbers wise on all the numbers. But right now it seems like even though a lot of people are getting sick, like not a lot of people are dying and getting hospitalized. So now they're kind of, thinking, well, even though people are getting actually infected by it, this might be the end. Like I heard about now, there's like a kind of Omicron 2.0 variant, but hopefully that's, a better one. And we can be done with this shit soon.
Yeah, the same thing around here. This current variant, people are having an easier time with it than previous variants. Less people getting seriously ill, less people needing to go to the hospital. But still, it's all over the place right now. So I'm just kind of hibernating for the winter. Staying
though,
inside.
Like, you see other people or even like the government being kind of like, it's fine. It's still fucking scary to see thousands of people close by getting sick. Like, you don't want to go out into that.
Yeah. Oh, I know so many people who've had it at this point. Like I feel like I know more people who have had it than people who haven't had it.
Likewise.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, me and Freya got it 2 weeks ago now, so.
Oh.
It took 2 years something, but then it caught up with us.
But you're doing better now?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So 2021 events, slow for a lot of the world. 2022 to be determined. So maybe now we could talk a little bit about new music releases from 2021, because of course lots of artists have been putting out new music still. So lots of stuff coming out on Bandcamp as always. Dave, do you have any like new albums or music releases from last year that you want to share?
Yeah, I do actually. I have about 4 that I actually remembered on on a short notice, and that was The Lost Cry with Lifeline, which is really good. I've seen them many times live as well, and hanged around with them. Really good people and really good music.
Awesome.
Yeah, and of course, my probably favorite album of 2021, the Kælan Mikla album, which I'm not even gonna try and pronounce. But
oh, you're Swedish.
Really do it. Yeah. The first 2 I can possibly. The third, no. So I'm not gonna try.
I think
Something
it is.
like that, yes. Yeah, but that one, really good. Highly recommend everyone who haven't heard it yet to check it out.
Yeah, that's probably my top album from last year. Like, yeah. I have, like, on Bandcamp, it keeps telling me, like, oh, you can't listen to this anymore because you've listened to it too many times now. But the shipping for the physical is more than the CD, so I'm just going to hold out until their show and buy then.
Right. But yeah, then I have the Necromancers Union, which I think just at the end of the year they came out with Flesh of the Dead, if I remember correctly. And that one was really good.
Oh, I haven't heard that one. I'll have to check it out.
I definitely do it. And a band that I got to know about, I think it was November or December. And that was Black Angel. And they were really good as well. I really enjoyed them.
Yeah.
But that was about it of new music, so to speak.
Great. Well, those are some good recommendations. Caroline, what about you?
It's okay. Yeah, we have absolute favorite Under Kuldum Nordur Josum by Kælan Mikla. I think my number 2 would be Goodbye Divine by Creux. That came out in October.
Yes, I had that one on my list too.
Yeah, that one is really good. That one's been on repeat like since then. Really good.
Creux
I have it on CD somewhere up there. I'm not gonna go find it. And then I recently finally bought Ascension by Nox Novacula. That one was really good.
Also on my list. I bought it on vinyl.
And then I almost forgot about this one. It's called The End is the Beginning by Mirror of Haze. It's like a really, I think it's a solo project. I'm not sure, but they're from Norway. They're really small, like random band. I feel like they kind of sound like Drab Majesty, and I feel like not many bands sound like Drab Majesty. So I was really impressed when I heard them for the first time. Acts of Worship by Actors.
Oh, of course.
Lots
that came
of bangers.
Out, what, like September, something like that.
Feels like so much longer ago.
Yeah, I think it might have been September.
Yeah, this last year just felt so long. That's why it was so hard to like find albums, because I felt like, oh no, that was surely 2020 or something, but no. Horses in the Abattoir by TRAITRS.
Yes, TRAITRS had 2 releases in 2021. So horses in the Abattoir, and they released one called The Sick, Tired, and the Ill. So they haven't released anything new for a couple years, and then they released these like 2 albums both like last year. But they're pretty cool. They're from Canada, and they kind of I feel like people who like The Cure would dig TRAITRS. They're like they have a little bit of like that sound. Definitely have their own like take on that like style, but
mean, kind of whiny.
Remind me of The Cure. Yeah, definitely vocal styles remind me of Robert Smith. But depending on like their earlier albums, especially had that very like The Cure sounding like guitar style. But these newer albums, they started getting a little like synthier and stuff, a little more like dark wave leaning.
Yeah, I love my synth, so yeah. Last one I have is A Haunted Place by Kill Shelter and Antipole. That one. Really good collaboration there.
Yeah, those are some really good ones. We definitely had some crossover in our list. So I have a lot of like music releases and albums from 2021 that I'd like to mention. First one, Tears for the Dying released a new album called Epitaph. Tears for the Dying is a really awesome death rock band from Athens, Georgia. Grey Gallows released the album Garden of Lies, and this is goth rock based dark wave. So a lot of the music that I usually recommend is good for like fans of the 80s, but this one is definitely one for if you're a fan of like the 90s stuff like Rosetta Stone, Paralyzed Age, or even some of the like 2000s goth rock like Angels of Liberty. This Grey Gallows album is probably more in that realm. Another one was the album Euphoric Recall by MOAA, and this the artist is all caps MOAA, but I think it's pronounced MOAA. And the artist was a new discovery for me. It's a shoegaze album, and I'm by no means a shoegaze connoisseur, but I did really love this album. It had some really great like post-punk style guitar work in it, and that's like my weakness. Order 89 released L'été des Corbeaux. This is a French post-punk synth-pop band that really captures the spirit of like the 1980s French new wave sound. So this album is a masterpiece. I actually got it on vinyl. Vision Video released Inked in Red last year. And Vision Video has like a new wave post-punk vibe to their music. I got to see them down at Absolution Fest this year, and they put on a great performance. I also got to meet Dusty Gannon from Vision Video, aka Goth Dad from TikTok. And he was really nice, really great. There was another death rock album that I wanted to mention. The band is called 149, like the number 149, and the album was also called 149. So this was a new discovery for me. They're from New York City, and it's just like really solid modern death rock. Another one that was more like dark synth pop was this band. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. It's either Camlann or Camlann. The album was called Circa 1983. So they're Indonesian, right? Yeah, they're from Indonesia. And they're really young. They're like teenagers. So it was really impressive. I mean, it was impressive music regardless of their age, but the fact that they're so young makes it even more impressive. So that was a really great album. The band formerly known as International Badboys Inc. now apparently changed their name on Bandcamp to Loser Vandross. But they're a South Korean cold wave band that put out this really great album called Enjoy Your Stay. It has a very like lo-fi quality to it. I love that sound. It's cool to come across Korean goth music because I don't have a lot of Korean music in my library. This band, like I said, that lo-fi sound, if you're into like the Eastern European, like some of the like Russian, Polish type of cold wave stuff, their sound is a little more along those lines. Of course, on my list, I also had Ascension, Nox Novacula. I got that one on vinyl. Those two TRAITRS releases that Caroline and I were talking about. Anta released a new album. I think that's how you pronounce it. The French dark wave artist.
Was that this year?
Yeah.
No, I mean 2021.
Yeah, the album was called Morning Tsunami. So that one was released last year. And her music has like this really beautiful ethereal quality to it. I'm very picky when it comes to the super ethereal stuff, but I do really love Hante. The sound, it's very dreamy, very floaty. Then Wingtips released a new album called Cutting Room Floor, and I really did like it, but not to the extent that I loved their last album, Exposure Therapy. Exposure Therapy was like an absolute masterpiece, so that was going to be hard to follow up, but Cutting Room Floor is good. I saw Wingtips in 2019 down at Absolution Fest, and their live performance really blew me away. Also, a post-punk band from Philly called The Ire just released their second demo. They released their first demo in 2019. And really cool post-punk band. I got to see them live at Skullfest in, I think, 2019. But I thought like they were kind of like a one and done deal because they put out this demo in 2019 and then I didn't see anything from them for a while, but they did release a new demo last year. Excited to see them putting out more stuff. Of course, Kælan already mentioned the Creux Lies album Goodbye Divine. I also got to see Creux Lies live at the first Absolution Fest in 2019, and they were a lot of fun. I did get to talk to them briefly. They were really nice. Actors, Kælan, you also mentioned Acts of Worship by Actors. They're like one of my all-time favorite modern post-punk bands, so that one was, of course, like one of my top albums for the year. Ships in the Night, who's a really great solo ethereal artist, released a new album called Latent Powers. That was a really beautiful album for anyone who appreciates more of the like ethereal and ambient sounding music. Diavol Strâin released a new album in November. So Diavol Strâin is a really great Chilean darkwave duo. I saw them live once here in Pittsburgh. They played with Haze, which is like a local darkwave duo. And actually, Diavol Strâin's coming back to Pittsburgh next month. And I'm like so tempted to go. I'm gonna feel it out, see what's happening around here. If people are still getting sick left and right, maybe I won't. But I do really love that band. Vandal Moon released a new album in November. That one's called Wild Insane. I love Vandal Moon. They're very like 80s retro revival kind of stuff. They're like a mix of dark wave, new wave, and synth pop. It just depends on the track. Some of their tracks are like kind of like dark wave. You could probably even call some of their tracks goth. Some of their stuff is more like the classic 80s new wave sound. But really love Vandal Moon. One of my favorite lo-fi post-punk artists, Anum Preto, released a new self-titled album. They're from Brazil and not quite minimal wave, but it's like first wave style of post-punk that has a lo-fi quality to it. So again, similar to like some of the Eastern European cold wave bands. So that's really good stuff if anyone likes more like minimal or lo-fi sounding post-punk. And then lastly, Rosegarden Funeral Party released 2 new albums in December. One is called Wake of Fire. The other is called Take Cover. And that second one, Take Cover, was a collaborative album. So each track is in collaboration with other musicians from around the world. So that's pretty cool. So that's like the full list I had to talk about today. I did cover more music releases like on my YouTube channel, but I didn't want to like go through like 100 different releases. But so not surprised I had some crossover with you, Caroline. I think after we're done like streaming here, when I get this episode uploaded to my YouTube channel, I'll probably also make a list and put it up on my website with like all the music releases that we mentioned and some of the stuff we're talking about here. That way, anyone in the chat watching right now, I'll have something up on my website in the next week or so. So cadaverkelly.com if you want to go back and see like some of the stuff we're recommending here. I'll make a list of it and get that out there at some point. Probably will also post it to the Gothy Roundtable Facebook page for anyone who wants to go back and take a look at the list of music that we recommended from 2021.
Yeah, in case you don't know how to spell Under Köldum Nordriosum by Kælan Mikla.
Exactly, because it's so easy.
I'm not even going to attempt it.
Straightforward.
I'm so bad with the like butchering pronunciations, like just so not just American, but also I'm from Western Pennsylvania, so I have this very like Rust Belt, like Yinzery, like spin on everything. So I'm terrible at pronouncing. Like I cannot eloquently pronounce anything. So I butcher stuff all the time. But you know what? At least I try.
Yeah.
So that was like new music for 2021. Maybe we could talk about like books, movies, TV shows that you think anyone watching might have liked from 2021. Dave, anything that stood out to you? TV, movies, books that you picked up last year?
Not really in a relevant way to Goth, so to speak. No, I have mainly been watching like cosmic horror kind of movies and stuff.
That's pretty cool. There was a new season of What We Do in the Shadows in 2021. A lot of Goths seem to like that one. And hopefully they'll have another season out this year sometime, I would assume.
Speaking of that, I got this for Christmas.
I love it. Guillermo.
Fantastic.
I want to eat this cereal. Oh my god.
Caroline, I know you read a ton, so you probably have some book recommendations.
It's hard to come up with anything that came out in 2021 because I don't necessarily like read books that come out like immediately.
But one of are there any ones that? Yeah, go ahead. Like I was gonna say, maybe just ones that you read in 2021.
The Witch's Heart by Genevieve Gornichek. I don't know if that's right. It's like a Norse mythology. It's about the wife of Loki, the one who gives birth to the Fenris wolf and Hel and the worm. Jormungandr. Yeah, however you say that in whichever language. But yeah, it's like a really beautiful story. Like they fleshed it out really well because in the mythology, she's like not mentioned any more than she's like the mother of those monsters. But like here, it's really beautiful story. She's just a mom protecting her kids, you know. And then Ragnarok happens. And yeah, but it's really nice. There was also the Final Girls Support Group by Grady Hendrix. That one is really funny. It's like, okay, so you know these like classic horror movies like Halloween and all of those, like, so all the girls, the final girl that survived those are like in a support group together.
That's wonderful.
I love the concept.
Yeah, so like here all of these movies like actually happened and then they made a movie about it. So like it's kind of like that in this world. And then one of them like finds out like, okay, I think somebody's coming after us again. So really fun. Like they don't name the movies, so you kind of have to like pick up the hints yourself. So that one was really fun. Other than that, I'm not sure if I read anything else that came out in 2021 that was really good. So I don't know.
Well, it sounds like 2021 and continuing on to right now. There's just like not a lot of stuff happening out there in the world yet. So Caroline, I know you're pretty tuned into the Twitch DJ community. you DJ here on Twitch, DJ Carnivorous. So if anyone's looking for DJ streams, subscribe to Caroline's Twitch channel as well. But Caroline, do you have recommendations for like other goth DJs who might do like streams for anyone who's itching to dance around their house?
I can just go on the Twitch page and like just look at who I have here. So we have, streaming right now, we have DJ Cyberpagan. Always great. He streams at least 2 times a week on Thursdays and right now. It clashes with us, but yeah. Geisterwelt Knights. They're a Greek couple, but they live in Germany. And they're crazy party people. They will stream for like 8 hours when their kids are asleep. So much fun. I keep missing them, but the Sisters of Mondays, since they're in Texas, they start streaming on Mondays or night to Tuesday for me at like 3 a.m. So, and they end at like 6 a.m. So it's a really bad time for me. They're really great. Mortasha Kinski, she's Australian but based in London. She will stream for like fucking 8 hours as well. I think she streamed for longer than that. DJ Kangol, he's like the king of transitions in my opinion. And so it's a great party with him. DJ Evangel, I'm not sure if that's how you say that, but he's German. He usually does like gothic brunch kind of, so like the European version of Red Party, which is also great when I can catch Red Party. I think Red Party on Sundays is what I usually can catch because that'll be at a more friendly time for Europeans. The New Order Melbourne, when I can catch them. They'll stream for like 10 hours or more. For me, they start at like in the morning on Saturdays. So I'm not sure. You got to figure out like all the time zone things with these. I just log on to Twitch and see what's happening. Martin Oldgoth, legendary man. He's amazing. Who else do we have? That was just my like suggested streamers that's like on my channel. So like if you're logged off, like I will host those.
Oh, did we lose Caroline?
I think we may.
I think that was like my cue to shut up.
Oh, we lost you for a moment there. A few others I'll tack onto that. DJ Scary Lady Sarah out of Chicago sometimes does Twitch streaming. Great
Miss Margot.
Twitch to follow. DJ Kelly A, who was on Gothy Roundtable last year and based here in Pittsburgh. She does have a Twitch channel, and once in a while she'll get on and do some type of stream. So she's worth following if you're setting up like Twitch channels to follow. Of course, Obscura Undead does DJ Twitch streaming over on the Obscura Undead channel. DJ Azzy from Obscura Undead sometimes will stream over on their individual Twitch account.
Malik.
Yes, DJ Malik. And Azzy and Malik will be our guests for next month. So I guess that would be good info to let the viewers know. Next month, our topic for Gothy Roundtable is going to be Death Rock, and we will be joined by DJs Azzy and Malik of Obscura Undead, also 2/3 of the new Death Rock band, The Palest Grey. They have an album that is available for pre-order on Bandcamp right now, their debut album. So go check that out. And they'll be joining us next month to talk Death Rock.
Indeed, very excited. I think the new album comes out the 4th of February, right? I think.
It's coming out soon. But it is available for pre-order. So if anyone wants to buy it early, or you can wait a couple weeks or a week or two until it's out if you want to buy it then. But Azzy and Malik are both
Bandcamp Friday. is coming back next week.
Oh,
nice.
Bandcamp Friday. Yes. I'm excited they brought that back because I was afraid that they were like retiring that for a while.
Yeah, same. And then I saw an announcement like a few days ago. So next Friday, yes, spending all the money.
That right.
But Azzy and Malik are both wonderful human beings who do a lot for the goth scene online and down in Florida. Azzy's based in Tampa, Malik's based in Orlando. So I get to see them once a year when I go down to Absolution Fest. Excited to bring them on. And they are two of the most diehard death rock fans that I know. So I couldn't think of anyone better to bring on for the death rock episode. Yeah, we got death rock. We're probably going to do part 2 of our memes. Still looking for topic ideas for other episodes this year. Like I said, if anyone has any suggestions in the chat for topics they'd like to see us cover, let us know. Or if someone's watching this back on my YouTube channel, feel free to drop a comment. All suggestions will be considered. No promises.
Well, with the comments you get on YouTube sometimes, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't get that bad of comments. Once in a while, I'll get like a shitty comment on YouTube. I don't get them like some of the other channels do, though. I know like Skull Girdle, Angela Benedict, like Gia Resurrected, some of those channels, they get like just awful comments. I do sometimes get like the occasional shitty comment, but I just don't respond when I get like a shitty comment. And I would say that the ratio is very low, though. Like for every shitty comment that I get like hundreds of positive comments. So I just try to focus on like how good the ratio is and not like zero in on any of the negative stuff.
Good thinking.
But yeah. But if anyone has any suggestions for a Gothy Roundtable topic, you can comment on YouTube. You can drop us a chat if you're watching live.
Focus on Facebook, wherever.
Yes, everyone should follow Gothy Roundtable on Facebook if you're on Facebook. That's where we post. Every month we'll post an event with details for the time and topic for the episode that we're streaming. So that's a good one to follow if you want to keep up with what we're doing here. We generally stream at the same time on the last Sunday of each month, but sometimes we'll switch that around if we need to make accommodations for our guests or if one of us need to change the time. So our Facebook page is where you'll get event postings with all the details for joining future episodes.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Who's joined us in the chat?
We get to experience some more events, especially me and Dave this year. So we have more stuff to talk about. Like I would love to come back here and talk about shows and stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. I have missed going out on events so much.
Yeah, like I mean, the Twitch community is amazing, and it's the closest thing to in real life, but it's not quite the same. Even though it's really cool to be able to like, okay, right now I'm clubbing in Germany, then I can hop over to New York and then to Melbourne. Like, it's really cool. It's so fun. Made so many friends that I hope I can meet at Vegete sometime. Whatever that happens again.
One day I'll make it to Vegete. It's on the bucket list.
Yes. It's the Goth pilgrimage, the Mecca.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe one day I'll make enough money that I can go every year, but it is very expensive to travel there from America. Their fare is pretty expensive, and then of course there's lodging and all that stuff. But definitely going to save up so I can go to that one day, maybe a few years down the line. Hopefully we're not in a pandemic at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Fingers
whenever
crossed.
the next one will be, like, even if it'll happen this year or next year, I feel like everyone's gonna rush over there and it's gonna be tons of people. It'll be just like the anniversary in, I think it was 2015. They had like, was it the 25th anniversary?
So,
and
yeah.
oh my god, there was so many people. I think they sold like at least 30,000 tickets that year. That was like a little too much for comfort, because like the venues were really packed, like you couldn't really move. Like usually you can kind of move a little bit, like the typical kind of social distance standing that people do, like over here. Yeah, so we'll see.
Yeah, well, let's hope that 2022 is a little bit better for the world in general than the last 2 years have been. I think we're going to have a good season on Gothy Roundtable. But we're coming up on the 1 hour mark. Any other 2021 related stuff that either of you two wanted to talk about?
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, it's been,
all right.
If anyone
it's been a very long year.
Yeah. And if
Felt
anyone
like 2
feel
years.
like you wanna, experience a bit more on the Goth side of things, I can recommend our Gothy Discord to.
Oh yeah, as always, join Gothy Discord.
Right? Yeah, it's a good place to socialize with other Goths without having.
Yeah, it's been really
like
fascinating lately. How there's been a lot of discussions where there have been a lot of young people, especially, talking about how they've never been to a Goth event before. So like now, during the past couple of years, like a new generation has gotten old enough, but there hasn't been any events. So that's really fascinating to see that they've come into the scene through the internet, but never experienced it in real life.
Well, hopefully that means there'll be really good turnouts and lots of demand for events as they come back.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And it'll be cool to see new faces at events. I've actually been seeing and meeting more younger faces showing up at the clubs around here. So that's been pretty cool. For a while, it used to be I was on the younger side, and I'm not like, that young. I'm 29. I'm turning 30 this year. So the fact that I was like one of the younger ones in the scene goes to show that we didn't have a lot of like people that were like freshly 21. Over here, you have to be 21 to go to most of these events because that's the drinking age. But we didn't have any people in their like early 20s and stuff coming out. And now I'm seeing them come out. So it's cool. We're going to have, I think, Gen Z goths and post-punk kids and just all around general alternative folks coming out and be able to keep the scene going. So it's been great to see all of that. It'll be exciting to see more young up and coming Gen Z goths coming out to events, because younger faces means that the events will get to live on for longer.
Indeed.
Yeah, I personally know a few people, like even in my city too, that have gotten like old enough during the pandemic, but no events for them yet. And like at VGT and stuff, I always felt super young because like not a lot of like 18-year-olds go there, because for many, like you have to travel a bit, like even if you do live in Germany. So like up until like, last VGT I was it 25? Yeah, so I was still like one of the younger ones, because even at that age, like people are, going to university and they don't have the money to go. So yeah, it's nice to have young people too.
Yeah. Very, very heartwarming. I'm hoping a lot of the younger folks who have joined Gothy, who are maybe old enough to go out to events, but there haven't been any yet. Hopefully they're still keeping an eye out when events come back and they, are excited to rush out and get to their first events. Also, I wanted to give a shout out to Jez and Arthur Frost for joining the live chat, joining the stream as we're, live on Twitch today. So shout out. Thanks for joining. And I think that about covers what we came here to talk about today. Dave, Caroline, any closing remarks?
Not really, just that, 2021 has been a pretty shit year. I feel there's been like little hope. Like we lost all of our hope, but now I kind of have hope again for life to come back. So I hope that 2022 will be better for all of us.
Yeah, pretty much. It's been a journey this year that was. And let's hope we get a new year with lots of good events actually be able to happen. That would be lovely.
Yes. Yep. And everyone, hope you join us next month for our Death Rock episode in February. We will post details about that on our Gothy Roundtable Facebook page as we get closer to the date. So keep an eye on that. Thanks everyone for watching.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Bye.